BBC Introducing in Devon. We're backstage here at Exeter University at the Lemon Grove with Duke Dumont, and I don't know necessarily your total backstory, Duke. Is a university bar area somewhere that you used to frequent in the past, or does this bring back any kind of memories at all?
Yeah, it gives me memories when I was at uni until I dropped out after 2.5 years. So yeah, that's not cool. finish your degree. Yeah, no, I'm used to this kind of terrain. I've DJed a few kind of venues like this. So basically, the most important thing is just everyone has a good night, and I turn up and do a good job.
And welcome to Devon as well, by the way. I always ask our guests on the show and the people that come down touring down in the county of their reaction to Devon. Perhaps they've been there before. It always seems to be perhaps somewhere that they've been as a kid with family members in the past and whatnot. Do you know anything about the county? Is this a place that you've visited before?
Yeah, I think everyone ends up on a geography field trip in Devon at some point. Swanage field trip. Yeah, no, yeah, of course I've been down to this part of the country. Family holidays and all that jazz. It's cool. It's just a lot more chilled and laid back. I'm only here for a day, so I can't really take it all in. But no, it's nice. But for what I do, I kind of need to be based closer to London right now.
And I suppose next time you're down, let us know. We can tell you all the hot spots and restaurants and places to hang out next time you're in Devon.
So where are the hot spots in there?
You're here. It's right now. It's Duke Dumont at the Lemon Grove at Exeter University. That is the hot spot. We've been out there. We've been out the front, and it's kicking off. It's good. It's going to be a good night tonight.
I trust you. I haven't seen it yet. If it's not, I'm going to hold you responsible.
Okay.
I'll refuse to go on. No, it's going to be a good night. I mean, it's sold out, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good.
So look, it's BBC Introducing, Duke. It's something that you're aware of in the fact that it's young, undiscovered, unsigned artists sending in their music to the BBC and hopefully kind of filtering their way up through the system, being played on local BBC radio stations, going on then to the likes of Radio 1, 1Extra6 Music, perhaps then going on to the BBC kind of introducing stages at Glastonbury and Bestival, who knows, big events in Ibiza and things like that are going on as well. Is that an alarm? Is that you need to be at the venue at this time?
I think it's the alarm till the interview's over.
No, I've not even asked you a proper question.
That's like, when you're on a date and you pretend your phone's ringing. I've got an emergency. My mum's in hospital. It's like, okay, I've seen the interview over. I
don't like this guy. Yeah, let's call this off now.
Let's call it off now. What's the question?
Yeah, there wasn't one. It hadn't finished yet. So BBC Introducing, what we want to get is, because there's going to be lots of young artists listening into you tonight, I want to get your backstory. I want to start with Duke Dumont from the beginning, the kind of where you were, the bedroom you were in, the kind of technology you were using, the people you were listening to. Just talk to me about the development of you as an artist right from the start.
I mean, I came about of an age where it was easy to make music on computers. So as long as you've got access to a computer, you can make music to a professional degree. Obviously, with perseverance and hard work, then you can get there in the end. 10 years before, 20 years before, you have to work in the studio. You have to buy tens of thousands of pounds worth of equipment. I didn't come from that age. I don't come from money. No one ever loaned me money to buy anything. So I kind of went through it, getting a summer job, buying my DJ decks, which were horrendous. They're so bad, it taught me how to DJ well. Having a computer, being in debt, buying a laptop, almost getting kicked out of my house by my mum for taking out a loan, which kind of paid back in the end. So I'm kind of, so from nothing to basically working my arse off, excuse the language, BBC, for 10 years and just learning my craft. Like, I've been doing it professionally for about 8 years, but just and that's just through the passion of what I had for music, and that passion never went away. Most people, it kind of goes away after a year or two. Most people get into it because they want some modicum of fame or being known, but no, if you truly, want to do it for the music, the best thing I say to people is, what would you do every day for 10 years if you just made an average income? And whatever that is, that's what you're supposed to do. And if it's music, you neither be rich, neither be poor, but you love music, do it. And there's never been a better time to make music. I mean, everybody can make music now, if they want to. Yeah. Which is a good thing. Yeah. But it's a bad thing.
Yeah. More competition.
No, there's not. There's obviously a higher level of bad music, but there's also high level good music.
Yeah.
But I'm a strong believer in the kind of liberal approach that everybody should be given the opportunity to do what they want to do in life, no matter what the background is. And music, that is the case now. Fantastic. So basically, it's just a case of anyone, or what I just said, that every day, every morning when you wake up, what's the thing you like to do every day for the next 10, 20 years of your life? If it's music, just work harder than anyone else you know, and you probably get there. So yeah, I mean, I love the fact that it's accessible to everyone nowadays. So it kind of like we're in a good day and age for music.
Look, as long as the biographies and things are right on the internet, me and you are roughly a similar age. And I remember the first ever kind of CD single that I bought was You Don't Know Me by Armand van Helden. Loved things like Stardust Music Sounds Better With You when I was growing up, and all that kind of stuff. Who are the artists that have inspired you to be who you are today?
Exactly the same. I think basically most people's first kind of calling in music is what they would see on Top of the Pops. You know, people might not know what Top of the Pops is, but the things that grabbed me was the kind of left field stuff that was on Top of the Pops. It was Armand van Helden, it was Daft Punk, it was Stardust, it was Prodigy, it was Chemical Brothers, it was Basement Jaxx, whoever. It was like, oh wow, this is different, you know, to your kind of manufactured stuff. So that stood out to me a lot, and I hope. And then basically you just get into it more and more and more. You tap into it more. You got into UK Garage, got in the house. And basically, because the enthusiasm's there from the start, it's kind of, they're the gatekeepers that lead to kind of getting more and more obsessed with it. And I think I'm kind of in a position now where I hope that anyone who listens to my music on a radio show or TV station, that there's could be a few people out there just keep on scratching, and this is only the surface. But yeah, it's nice when in mainstream culture there is a slight alternative. And I think there has been the last year or two. I mean, there's, 5 years ago, it's mainly boy bands, manufactured acts. Right now, it's mainly guys in their bedrooms making beats. It's great. But, obviously, there's more diversity to the pop culture right now, which is the same as the late 90s. So it's going to be interesting. Something else will come along in a year, and that's great.
I think what's key is that America as well has really kind of taken the genre by storm. I'm not a fan of the term EDM, but it exists, it's out there, and they're loving it too. Do you bracket yourself into a genre? Can you pigeonhole yourself into a dance music genre? Do you class yourself as a house music DJ or a deep house DJ, or do you qualify yourself as that? I don't think you're going to say yes to that answer, but...
Well, I hardly make country and western music. I mean, I honestly don't think about it too much. I mean, I say my DJ sets are genuinely based around the house music genre. I still don't know what deep house is, though. I don't know, everybody's definition of deep house is strange. When I did a song called The Giver years ago, which has probably been the most consistent song on my DJ sets, everyone says I didn't know what deep house was then. But I obviously do know what house music is, because I've been listening to it for 20 years. Obviously you can connotate me with house music. I just love my music though. I don't just listen to house music. If anything, I don't listen to enough house music. Probably listen to more now. But yeah, that's fine. It kind of it helps sell records if you can put a label on it. But I'm not naive enough to think that people shouldn't consider me in a house music fame. Of course, like I said, I don't make country and western music or West Coast rap. That's the second album. Yeah, that's coming.
We want to intersperse this chat on the air with some of your own music. Now, you've got a back catalogue of remixes of your own original material to choose from. It's going to be up to me to get onto Beatport or SoundCloud or wherever those may tracks be and find those records. So pick something. Tell me what it is. Tell me why you've chosen it.
I'm going to pick one that purposely isn't on Beatport, just to make your life absolutely hell. And probably have to go through legal means to download it, thus probably sacking you from the BBC.
Yeah, okay.
I did a remix for Lily Allen years ago. It's not for sale on the internet. I don't think it got approved, but it exists. And the reason I picked that is it's not a house track. So I do have a back catalogue of songs that aren't house tracks. But yeah, I'm thinking. I mean, the day and age, what I'm doing now on a commercial level, is predominantly in that. But I think when my album comes out, people will be surprised that there is dynamic to it, as opposed to just 1 BPM throughout. You know, and I think I've made a good record that hopefully can stand a little bit longer shelf life than just, you know, every song sounding the same. So yeah, listen to the Lily Allen remix, which he's illegally downloading. Yeah.
It's BBC Introducing in Devon. We're here with Duke Dumont backstage at the Lemon Grove at Exeter University, and I know from tonight as well, some of the DJs who've already been on this evening from 9 o'clock have been approaching me, fully aware of what BBC Introducing can do, and knowing that I'm really excited about kind of dance music coming into the BBC at this moment in time. They're going to want to know, these young starters, and this has been a term that has been used by some visiting bands to the area who I've interviewed in the past, your technical porn. Okay, so what you're using at home, the software, the laptops, the kind of the decks that you're using, that they're going to want to know what you're doing to get to the place where you are.
I can guarantee you I'm using exactly the same that everybody else is using. I'm not going to divulge. I can guarantee everybody uses the same stuff. Don't ever get studio envy. One of the guys who I used to work with back in the day, who taught me a lot, was a guy called Switch, and he was making probably one of the best mix engineers in the world. I remember spending time with him in the studio. I thought he had loads of compressors. He turned up, he just had a Mac. I was like, okay, wow, I need to get better at using the stuff I'm using. Everybody uses the same stuff. Everybody uses a computer. Just get really good at your computer. Don't it doesn't matter what it's having a good ear. It's having, I mean, using good sounds as well. You know, I have a collection of sounds I've built up over the last 10 years, and it's, you know, in that folder is just exceptionally good sounds which I've kind of stumbled upon for years and years. Have a good sound palette. That's more important than any of the equipment you use. I've heard guys making the best music on Fruity Loops. I've heard guys making music on a PlayStation years ago, and it's better than any guy, or some guys who have $1 million studio. I've been in $1 million studios. They're the worst places to ever be creative. I was in the studio where Michael Jackson did Thriller. I've forgotten the name of the studio, somewhere in LA. You can get more creative just in the bedroom in your house, just drinking tea and making music in your sweatpants. Doesn't matter where you are now, and everyone uses the same stuff. So
there's some important decisions to make though when you're at the stage that you're at. Things like, what vocalists do you use for some of your tracks? I mean, how do you go about making those kinds of decisions?
That they got to be good. They don't have to be famous. For me, because like I said earlier, that I want to try and make music that does have a bit of a shelf life, as opposed to probably trying to sell as many records as quick as possible. I mean, that would be nice, but it's not the be all and end all. So I work with the best vocalists I can work with at hand, and that dictates the music. I'm not chasing for features on every R&B singer on this album, because then at least I can have an identity with the record as well. So yeah, I'm working with friends and talented people on this album, and I think it's going to be a lot more personal than just getting the biggest selling artists in the world to feature, because it's try hard, and it's not actually doing anything to the music. It's just trying to sell as many records. So I hope that people can see that there is an ounce of soul on this album, which is going to be wrapped up very soon.
And when it comes to things like just your logo, your name, the music videos and the creativity that goes into those too, do you let other people get on with those kinds of things? Because I mean, the I Got You video is amazing. It's such a good video creatively, brilliant to watch. I mean, do you have a real hand in that too?
Yes and no. Basically what happens is, if you make a song, the video is getting commissioned, then you get something called a video treatment. I tend to be quite a push people quite hard, so I get a lot of treatments. I think on I Got You probably got more treatments than the Michael Jackson record. I think that's 20. But Remy, who did the video, he did a great job, and I'm a strong believer in, if someone could do a better job than you or something, let them do it. He can obviously direct a better video than I can. Saying that, I'll probably direct a video at some point, so I'll watch this back in a year. And he did a great job. I mean, I did a bit of the editing. But other than that, it's him, and you know, obviously I went with his vision and his idea. So you know, I made that decision, but otherwise it's his baby.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Am I right in thinking that you've started to kind of go down a bit more of a live performance route when it comes to some of your sets recently as well? I mean, is there a preference there, or is there a certain direction you're being kind of not pushed down necessarily, but a certain route you're taking when it comes to just standing behind the decks or live performance?
I'm not pushed down any route. The only pushing is myself. I don't have a boss.
Is there a preference?
Basically, I just come off the back of a live European tour the last week. The reason is if I'm making an album, I want the music to be presented in the best form it possibly can if I'm playing an hour of my music from the album. And the best way to do that is in a live show. The worst way to do that is behind two CDJs and just play 10 of my songs back to back. When I do DJ, I do play a few of my own songs, but I take the DJ set in as a whole. It's a completely different mindset for both, but I have to do a live show. I want to do a live show. I always wanted a live show, and it's the best way to present the album, because hopefully with the live show it can add more emotion to the songs as opposed to just the audio that's playing. So it can bring out more emotion in those songs in a live context. That's why I'm doing a live show.
I want to touch upon this very, very briefly, because I've heard kind of snippets of you on the likes of Radio 1 this year. It was actually, I'm embarrassed to say, at the age I'm at and the fan of music as I am, it was my first ever year in Ibiza just this past summer that's gone. You've been quite outspoken about Ibiza and the way it's perhaps changed over the years and that it's pricing people out potentially. How was it for you as a summer? Because actually, I suppose there was some low points, but ultimately it was a great year with your residency at Sankey's. Just tell me about your opinion of the White Isle as it is at this moment in time.
I mean, for me personally, it's a very successful year. I think every night sold out. There's some great lineups, so it's, you know, from a selfish point of view, it was great. You're saying it's your first year; it's only my second year.
Really? Wow.
I never went there as a kid on lads. I couldn't afford to go down lads holiday. Went to Mallorca a few times, but Ibiza was always the kind of place where I didn't really have the money to spend the money. You know, kids need a lot of spending money to go. It hasn't changed. It's still expensive. It's, you know, still you know, the island. You know, maybe the ideal of what it used to be 20-25 years ago is probably changed. But you know, for me, there was still great parties there. It is you know, if you into your dance music, you have a good time if you. But it's just, you know, it is slightly closed off. That not everybody can afford to go there, and that kind of sucks. But hey, it's the way the world works. So.
I'm sensing case, because I came away. I've never been a believer in spirituality and energy and anything like that, and it's something I really felt over there when kind of in amongst the crowd of thousands, wherever it might be at some of the venues.
In San Antonio.
Yeah, I mean.
Did you feel spiritual in San Antonio?
Not necessarily. I mean, yes and no. When the sun was going down and you're on the Sunset Strip,
you can find God in anything, can't you? San Antonio is cool. The one thing with the island, it does have diversity. If you want to go to a secluded beach, you can do that. If you want to go to go and get crazy, you can go to San Antonio. It does have that option, which is great. No, it's cool. It sounds like it had an effect on you.
Yeah, it did, and I'm genuinely excited about going back again next year. I'm hoping you're saying the same thing. I'm hoping I might be coming to see you again next year.
We're working on it right now. I'm listening to offers.
Okay. You've mentioned the album briefly. I'm really excited about it. Is it taking its time? Is it almost ready?
It's very close to being done. I'm in the country for 2 to 3 weeks, which is a rarity since, you know, all year. So it's so I'm just distracted. So I'm trying to get in, and he didn't seem to care at all, did he? Has he gone?
Yeah, he's gone.
Do you want to start the question again?
It's okay. I mean, just talk to me about the album.
So yeah, I've got a long stretch in the UK work and finish it in the studio now. So I think all the hard work's done. It's just wrapping up those last 3 or 4 songs. And what's really nice, for the first time this week, it actually sounds like an album as a whole. It kind of wasn't clicking, and literally this week is the first week it's all kind of come together. And because I'm really positive about it, it's just use this time I have in the UK for the next 2 weeks and just finish it. So it's good. It's come together, and I think you know, I couldn't have been happier with it at the moment. So yeah, I'm just looking to see the impact it has. It's going to be released probably April 2015, but there'll be 1 or 2 songs that will be released from it before then. So yeah, it's great. You know, it's my first album, and I hope it's, you know, one of many.